Hello folks, welcome to my Peeps presentation. Today we're going to take a look at my ancestry. As you can see, I started with myself, Guy Cassels. My parents, Lemuel Guy Cassels Sr. was my father, and he had a high school diploma, was his highest education. He joined the U.S. Air Force straight out of high school and had various labor positions throughout his later life, I should say. I am the first member on this tree to have attended college. My mother, Jola Jean Strickland, she dropped out of high school whenever I was born, but eventually did take night classes to get her general education diploma. She was a homemaker. Going back on my paternal side, I know a lot more about them because the Scottish ancestry always kind of spoke to me. But my paternal grandfather was Edwin Cassels. He's retired U.S. Navy. He was an auto mechanic. He died before I was born. Complications of the liver. U.S. Navy will do that to you. Virginia McClellan was my paternal grandmother, and she was a homemaker. Now, my paternal grandfather's side, I don't know a lot about, and I don't really have anyone I can ask, being that my paternal grandfather and my dad have both passed away. I do know that Edwin's parents immigrated here from Scotland in the 1910s. Now, which is kind of strange whenever I go down to my paternal grandmother's side. Her father was Benny McClellan, U.S. Army retired, and he was a farmer. He was married to Virginia McClellan, who shares my paternal grandmother's name, and she was a homemaker. Their parents moved from Scotland as well, although I couldn't track down the year. Now, going down to my maternal side, George Strickland was my maternal grandfather. He's U.S. Army retired. He also retired from Western Union. He used to ride bikes and deliver mail for Western Union back in the early 1930s, 1940s. Leola Strickland was my paternal grandmother. She was a homemaker, and she did have limited schooling. She did not finish school. On my maternal grandfather's side, I do not know anything about my maternal grandmother's side. But on my maternal grandfather's side, Edward Strickland lived in Tellico, Arkansas before moving to Georgia. He immigrated from Wales. Rusey Strickland was a member of the Creek Indian tribe in Georgia, and the two met, fell in love, and my grandfather was born as a result. And so, not a lot of multiculturalism in my family tree. The majority of my family tree is Scottish or Welsh, but I did have that little piece of Creek Indian. The one thing that I really noticed about my family tree, however, was the vocational jobs. And it sort of makes sense, being that, as I said before, I am the first member on this tree to attend college. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and we will see you in class.